So one of the models that I talk about in my most recent book is really about how leaders have to get out to the edges and how you have to get this flow of information from the edges of your organization to the corner office. What might some examples be? Because people are always asking me, how do you do that? Because I think it's one thing to be aware you're in a bubble. It's another thing to figure out what to do about that, right?
Right. And I do think it does. It's kind of like retail politics. Like you have to get out there and set up the skip level meetings, the breakfast, the coffees, and just spend time with people. And I think part of the strategy and tactics are having provocative questions, right? To say to people, like, imagine I was a new CEO here, like, what do I need to know that I don't know? Right. And just having these, stopping people in the hall and saying, like what should I be hearing? I like this strategy that some CEOs use with new hires. And they will say to them on the first day, look, I want you to come back to my office in 6 months because I want to hear from you. Like, what were you doing at your old company that we should be doing here? And just, it's all, to me, so much of it is about sending the signals that you want to hear it, that you genuinely, authentically, and when people bring you what might be troubling or bad news, you thank them, you make a big deal out of it, right? Because, we quoted in that chapter on listening, Nell Minow, who was a shareholder activist for many years. And she said, the companies that we invested in, they all had the same quality to the CEO, that everybody in the companies would say that, if you disagreed with the CEO, you could get fired on the spot. Right. And sort of understanding that you have to do the complete and utter exact opposite of that. And just, a good example to me is one CEO I interviewed. He has this rule with all his employees. He says, if there is bad news, I want you to text me right away. And if you have good news to share, wait till we're talking on the phone or in person or over Zoom or whatever. And then you ask, well, why is that? It's like, because the sooner we get the bad news out, the sooner we can fix it. So just creating that environment, because first of all, like, to me, it always reminds me of so many leaders say, I have an open door policy. I'm an open door. It's like, yeah, your door is open. You just don't want anybody to come in. Right. And so it has to be authentic, because I think there's just some natural skepticism. It's like, you say that, but do you really mean it? So you have to show over and over, yes, I really mean it.